Well, hi, it's Karen Ryder, and I'm here going to make my lecture today. So I hope you're prepared to learn what a banana and water have to do with each other. Because we're ready to have our midterm in our course, which is called Math History 101 for fun. But we do have to realize that not everybody who can do some math ever took any history. And not everybody who did history had math light. And if you had a science light education because you were an artist, does not mean that you do not need to have the terms that you need for democratic discourse in the state of Ohio, the United States, and the world. So I'm going to do my best. My qualifications are I'm a Phi Beta Kappa from a teacher's college in Ohio. And I don't know how that happened, but the facts are the facts. And when people say things like, does truth exist? I go, duh, of course it does. So let's get started. Now today is, oh, look at that. It's a selfie, so it's backwards. But this is, the elections are getting busy in the state of Ohio. And so I thought that I better get started with this video, and I'll try to make it brief. Let me read it to you. Elections underway, big issues, local races, your vote. And Scalise has been tapped for House Speaker. Those are both the stories above the fold for Thursday, October 12th. It is now the 13th because I stay up late to do my work. I've been a writer for over 36 years, and I do not fight the tides. Here on 1825 Rosemont, all my neighbors, the men, work nights. I'm safer on my property at 2 a.m. in the morning when they've come home from their commutes. So we work nights here in East Dayton. You might want to be interested to know that drones near military bases present safety privacy challenges, and area rent aid runs low. Courts see need as evictions still high. Prices are going up in Dayton, Ohio. The most reasonable place in the country to live. Artists live here. I live here. And if you can own a house, you can get by. But don't want to rent right now because things are getting bad. Now, we need to think about some basics. So I'll get my, I'm in the kitchen because that's where I can put my phone on the windowsill. And I'm today, instead of drinking coffee, I'm having a cup of chai, which is an Indian drink, a beverage made out of tea, because I ran out of tea and I had to go up the street to an Indian-owned local store where they sell tea. I had bought 100 tea bags for $7. This is very tasty. I also bought milk and I put it in a pot. It's on my stove here, right here, and I'm having it with a little, I'm having a visual, because I know you people like to have things to see. I'm having a little Ghirardelli chocolate in it. And if it gets cold, I'm going to put it in the microwave and zap it up, because this is going to keep me going so that we can get through this little lecture. Everybody, hang on. It's cold. Now that's because I'm going to give it 30 seconds in the microwave. That's because there's water in it. Water is the word for the day. Here we go. Water. It's backwards because it's a selfie. Now remember that. This is a representation. I'm not really here, and this is not really me shooting myself in a movie. Except I am. Now, so water, I can't stick it on the other side. W-A-T-E-R, water. The work of water, work meaning add energy to make change. Work is free. Keep that in mind. My tea has gotten cold because the work of the water is to either get hot or to go get cold or to move. We'll get to that in a minute. In my pot, I'm making my chai, or chai, C-H-A-I, chai, like Bombay, the Che is getting better and better because the water is drying up. It's moving up. It's turning into vapor. Or, yeah, I think we do call it vapor scientifically. So if you had science like to be like, hey, that's right, my pot of water always boils away. Good job. Now, I'll get back to my words, which you see posted on the site. So go to my page, Karen Righther, Righther, like right and left. I know it looks like a nightmare. It's Americanized. It is a German name. The hair is because I'm Spanish. Yepper, not an Irish girl. But the husband's name is Geiger, which is German. He's an Irishman. Okay, so keep track of all the Americans. We just keep it a mixed up bunch. But we do democracy like nobody else. Now let's get on to my first picture. Okay, if you can read backwards, it says truth. Truth is in the bag, okay? If you have an agreed upon standard, then truth is truth. You've got to understand the frame of reference of whoever is making the standard. Now, there are standards on this planet that are common to every single human that make us human. So when people say, I don't know if there's truth, the question is, do you know your fellow man or woman or child? Because every single one of us has in common the notion that when we get up in the morning, we see the sun rise in the east. We might call it a different thing because those are representations. Language is a representation. Words are representation. But a common evidence of an experience of life across cultures that the sun rises in the east by its location. Well, we've got some truth already. Now I do have a little treat today. This is called a milk bone. It's cute, isn't it? It looks like a little bone. It's for a dog. This is a big one because my dog is big. If you've seen Dasha on my site, she's a pretty standard poodle. And she's the smartest dog. And we say she's smart because she can solve problems. And she's very interested in working for her food. She would much rather add some energy and make a change and then be rewarded with a milk bone. Sometimes she forgets to eat if I don't help her because she loves me and she wants to interact in an intelligent way, which is what people like to do, which makes us human and which is common throughout our times. Now, is this real or not? I don't think I need to waste time asking you if this milk bone is real. You know it's a picture of a milk bone shot backwards on a selfie, but you know full well that this is hard and dogs like to eat it. And I don't think I like to eat it, so I'm going to put it back. Now, we've gone through these two green ones. Representation. You're just going to have to take my word for it because you can't read it. But you can read them on the website. If you have a comment, put it on the post. It's an open page and you're welcome to visit. That's why I'm going to this much trouble instead of doing my job, which is be a playwright. I just happened to go to a teacher's college in Ohio, and that's what we do in Ohio. We teach. We have good education here, even though when I went, it was free. I went for free as Ohio Academic Scholar. I guess that's a thing of the past. That was the 80s. I got old before my time. Now, here's a representation. That's the green one. Here's standard. Standards. You got to know what the standard of comparison is. Dasha, my poodle, is a standard poodle. That means some dogs are bigger. Well, that's not true. She's the top height and the bottom height for a standard poodle. Then they like that dog so well they made a miniature. And they like that dog so well they made a toy. And they like that dog so well, they made one that's called a teacup. And where's my teacup? I got a teacup. Yep. They make a poodle. They call it a teacup poodle. Now, Dasha can't even just get the bite out of a teacup, okay? Now, we do have to keep track of the standards and the words that are representations. But don't forget, truth does exist. And that helps us to do democracy well. Now, if I got this in about 5 minutes, I'd be happy, but I'm not sure I'm going to get it in 5 minutes. Moving right along. All right. You may have seen this. This says democracy is number one. You're seeing it backwards because you're watching it on a selfie. The words in here say truth. We've done that one. Standard. We've done that one. Now love. Well, sure enough, love. Love is a representation. That's an idea. Is it true? Absolutely. Every single language you hear, you'll find something. Je t'aime. Vous avez my heart. The Buenos dias, amigo, ami. I can't even think of all my Spanish, my words. Love. Love is free. Love. I love you. Ich liebe dich. It's a universal thing that humans have. And it is the base of our democracy. Don't forget that. So love is free. Love is free. You can't get it. And then here's on my list of the democracy number one words. I have them going. Here it is. Water. That's today's take home. Well, I'm trying to get to the water and bananas. All right. So that's what's coming up. And then here we have earth. I put it small. Earth. Earth. These things are free. Free. Backwards and forwards. It's always free. You know, it's free if you cannot own its location. What is the location? Where you are related to where the sun rises. So I am in East Dayton, where the men work at night, and me too. I'm up at 2 a.m. getting this done because voting is happening in Dayton, Ohio. And in the state, we got a big election coming up about women and families and reproduction. And the take home here is water and bananas, because women have the babies, but in this country and around the world, women got to feed the babies. We come equipped that way, don't we? Men love to look at it, but the fact of the matter is, a woman can feed the baby. And if you give that woman 70 cents on the dollar, or less, or she dies, you've got a real problem in your food chain, because water will not be moving from in a woman's body to a baby's mouth. And then the bananas won't matter. So pay attention today, because we're in a very critical time in Ohio and our country in the United States of America. As state by state, we begin to look at the reproductive freedoms of families and how babies and children are going to be born and fed. Think about that. How are we going to feed them? Okay, now I'll be nice again. I'm back to being love is free. Now you got the earth. How is the earth free? Because everybody knows that if in this country, in Ohio, we own the farmland and I own my backyard. How is the earth free? Because the earth is basically dead things. My sister is a doctor. She likes blood. She likes, she thinks urine is what'd she say? That is, well, I know you can use it on a battlefield. It's sterile. There you go. It's sterile. But she does not like earth, because she knows all the worms that are in there, and she knows what it's really made of, which is dead things. Earth is made of dead things. And it's made of poop. And poop is food that came through your system and died. Now, if you think you could own that, good luck. because it blows around. My mother, bless her heart, she used to call it Jekyll and Hyde. And she said Mrs. Hyde would come in the night and make your house dirty. So if you're a woman and you don't know that dirt is free, good luck. Now, we're going to go back to water. I've done all the words in my democracy number one, words number one. Let's catch up because we're going to have our midterm. And I'm going to start asking you questions. Now, you should be having a good idea about the blue ones, the things that are free, and the things that you can own. I can own a milk bone because I go down to the Indian store, pick up a box. Here's the box. It's on my shelf. I can pick up a box. I can go, I can carry a resource because that's what humans do. We go and we carry because we want water and food. And when we get it, we take it home and we can own it because we traded for it. I gave them a credit card, which was a promise that somebody else would pay them money and charge me extra if I don't pay on time. Yes, kids, if you don't pay on time, you can pay extra for the privilege of that credit card. I'm just saying. Now, what's next? I got all the things out of the box. That's what you need to do. You always put your things in a box. Then when you get your box empty, then you know you're done. We're almost done. Except for work. That's spelled work. Okay, W-O-R-K. It's all on the website. The pages, the cards are the right way around. I took pictures. And go to the website, Karen Righther, R-I-G-H-T-E-R. Karen is K-A-R-E-N. It's a public page. It's open because democracy, the discourse for democratic values and language is so important right now that we just need to speak the same tongues. Not speaking tongues. That's religious. And we all have religious freedom in this country too. Now, chuckle. I've got to get in under 5 minutes. Work. Oh, we already did work. Add energy to make change. That's more of a physics thing. And I'll have to tell you that I got like awards for that in high school. I'm not trying to brag, but if you didn't get awards for physics, then you need to know this. Work is not what you get paid for. You get paid for going to a location that somebody else owns and making a product that somebody else wants to buy and own. That's not your work. Your work was you got up this morning, and if you were me, you took some water and you brewed up some tea and you added some milk and you stirred it, and then you put in spices like cardamom and cinnamon because that's what they had at that store for cheap, and it smells delicious. Still hot, so I must be under 5 minutes. And then you added some chocolate, which you ordered online. Now, you did a lot of work today just to get your food in your belly. That's called work. You used your energy to make change. Every day that you get up and make your bed, by God, make it. Because when you come back on day, you said, I don't like my work. You may not like the people who own you. Can anybody own you? You may not like what you did today for money to make ends meet. But you made your own bed and you made your own coffee. Oh, she's on a rant. Now, just remember, love is free. Now, we've got one more thing. We got the water. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me turn some water on. I'm in my kitchen. In America and in Dayton, we have fresh water. We have so much fresh water that we can just let it run. We make fountains in my town. In my hometown, we have a fountain of fresh water because it was inconvenient and rusty and dirty to have a fountain out of river water. We have 5 rivers. We love the ocean, but we get so much water we don't know what to do with it. We flood every year. We have a famous flood in Dayton in 14 or something, like just before World War One. The whole place flooded, and then we had fires and gas. It was a nightmare. The horses were floating down the river. It was a nightmare in Dayton. And if you're old enough, which I'm not, but I'm old enough to care, we remember the flood in Dayton, and we have it marked on the buildings. And then we have a system of dams, so it will never happen again in Ohio, in Dayton. That's what democracy is about, working together to take care of your problems. But water, if you don't have it, you will not have a banana. Let me get the banana. Oh, well, wouldn't you know it? Not only do I have 5 rivers where I live in Dayton, Ohio, I have 4 bananas. And they're getting ripe. So if you don't eat these, but good as a banana, huh? It's going to be mushy. And you're going to have to mush it through your teeth. It's for old people in a minute. You better put it in a pie. We don't make pie. I have a new recipe called Chunky Monkey Banana Cake. Okay? And the key to good cake, I found out, is self-rising flour. It means you sift it ahead of time and put in the baking ingredients. That's how you make a Chunky Monkey pie. Now, well, it's not pie, but everything in Ohio is a pie, because we're country. Now, this is my banana. As you can see, it warmed up in Ohio. We're in the middle of fall, and so the water can't decide. Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to be humid? Humid is how much water is in the air in Ohio. We have humidity because we have water like you wouldn't believe. We have the Great Lakes north of us. That's fresh water. We are part of the bread basket of America. We're the corn basket. We're the corn basket and the soybean basket. We have food. We have so much food here that only one man farms the whole land. He just gets a tractor and a permission to get seeds. That's how it works in Ohio. And then he grows out there and he farms. One man can do it. We don't need rice paddies. We don't need all that shit. We got it. We have so much water and so much sunshine and so much wealth in our land. And we waste it downriver. We don't even worry about it. People someplace else can't get one banana. One banana. Now, it's not just that it's late at night and that I think love is free. Because I have been called. The good Lord called me to speak the truth. Yeah, I guess somehow I got too much education and not enough smarts. I just know that a banana and the water go together. Where did they get this banana? Central America? Where's the banana come from? Chiquita. Chiquita banana. Where's Chiquita from? Chiquita is from the islands or something. They grow a lot of bananas wherever they are. I know they're poison or whatever. I don't know, but they love those bananas down there. And they got the music. Oh, the people like banana. And I heard the little song. La people nation. Oh, the nation like banana. And all I know is they just have to put that banana on a boat. And where does the boat go on? On the salt water. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this, but I'm going to bet you that the salt water likes to get hot and cold and buoyant more than the fresh water. Now, you can check that on the Google. You can check it out. I say, Karen, you may or may not be right. Post it on the page. It's a free page, open country. Now, I just know that the whole planet, if you don't want to get up and carry your box on your backpack and go across a bridge from Africa out, you just walk your way, then you take a boat. If you're a man or a woman and you want food and water or a banana, you can take a boat. Because you can get on that boat in the salt water and there'll be a current. And it will drive you here and drive you back. Now, that is some scary history in my country. Because I'm a white lady. Look at me. White as can be with the red hair. You know, almost without a doubt, that I do not have any black blood in me. Now, don't be too damn sure, because I'm Catalan, which means I'm south of Spain, and the Moors came up and we had a big fights. And so don't be sure, because every time there's a big fight, some woman is either going to be in love or she's going to get raped. That's how it works. And some man is going to get dead. Or Judith is going to crack it with a hammer. So read your Bible. Now, so you got the water, you got the bananas, you got the currents, you got the wind, you got the sun heating things up, and then when the earth turns, it gets cold. So you got the currents, and everybody gets on there, and everybody wants that bananas. But not everything is fair, which is why we have to care about the water. If you don't have good, safe drinking water like we have in this country, in the United States of America, and in the Midwest, where we make all the wheat and the bread and the rice and the corn and the soybeans, and we feed it to our cows. Because I was real hungry, so I had a hamburger for a snack at midnight so that I could write this for you. And if we don't have that, all around the world, we get inequality. And inequality is not very good for democracy. It means you get somebody like Putin. Now, if you look at Russian history and you say, why is Karen so upset about the Ukraine? Well, I can't go on a picket line and do a damn thing about Putin. He's over there. I'm not in his jurisdiction. I'm not in his location. I'm in the United States of America. I can stand here and say all day, hey, what you're doing is wrong. But he didn't have to listen to me. He doesn't have to listen to anybody but his people, because they're the ones fighting his wars. And if you think the Russian people haven't fought enough wars, you don't know your history books. And if you think the Ukraine people are gonna, good God, I don't need to think about what they've done to have liberty. You don't need to think about what your own people have done to have liberty. What it took your mother. My grandma, both my grandmothers got the vote in 1920. White women. Well, one Hispanic, one Spanish. She was an immigrant from Mexico when that country fell. They had a revolution, and she came up with her daddy, who had to work as a he had to clean things because he spoke Spanish, even though he was gifted. He just looked like a working man, like all the working men here, and he's staying up at midnight. Yeah, you got to work for a living. You got to work to put your family up. Now, we got to the water. We got to the bananas. We got to inequality. We got to people moving around. And then you have to say, why is Karen always ending her songs about stop sex trafficking? Well, I didn't used to know too much about that. But I have a cousin, and God bless her, she's a photographer. And she works with Campus Crusade for Christ, which is a little bit more Jesus than me. I like my Jesus, but they have the crusading is a little more Jesus than me. And Bonnie goes to India, and she takes pictures of women who been sold into sexual slavery. Now, I don't know how the hell that happens, because you think their mother and father didn't love them, or were they just too poor? What they going to do? Who they going to sell? What mouth they going to feed? They're going to feed the son? They're going to feed the daughter? And somebody pay a price. Now that's wrong. And my cousin, bless her, she takes She can't take a picture of the face of the girl because those girls are caught. They're dead. Now, that's not right. Now, if the water isn't equal around the world, there's more people in India trying to scrape by on dal, that's lentils, and we're over here eating our beef because we have all the water and all the soybeans. We need to start thinking about that a little bit, because there is a person paying that price, and there's a photographer named Bonnie Ryder who takes the most stunning photographs of women's feet with flowers around them and water. Now that touched my heart. And then I'll just be honest, I don't always have my mental health. And in this state, you can get locked up. Well, it's not fair, and that's another little rant of my own. But while you're there, you might meet somebody who is hiding for their life. Well, I don't know how they got to hide in the mental health place. Maybe that's for their mental health. If you're hiding for your health in the state of Ohio, you can go in the mental health place and somebody will say their father, mother, sold them out. I'll be like, what does that mean? Yeah, I had a rude awakening. It means that if there's poverty in a democracy in this country, girls and boys will be sold. Now, water and bananas make a pretty song. And Dasha is about the sweetest little therapy dog that you could have. But we have an obligation to get to the polls and to vote. And when we go there, we don't need to be talking about, what should we do? What should we do? Should we have I want a banana. I want a stick. No. When you go to the poll, you think about what is true. You think about what is just. You think about work, owning, free, water. What's the standard? Is it a representation? You go as an informed citizen. And when you go to the poll, you vote your heart, because God is watching us. And you know that's true. Because as much as we wonder, is there a God with all this bad stuff happening? At least we have a democracy in the United States of America. At least right now, Joe Biden is the president. And no matter what he tries to do, he can't change the Constitution without our vote. He's not a dictator. He's not a Putin. Forget that. He can't run. He can't run rampant. I mean, I don't like Joe Biden. Get over it. Because this is America. He's elected. And you can elect the next president. And you can decide whether when a woman has a child or a father has a family, how they're going to feed that baby is up to them. Because they're the ones in this country that have to pay. So we do care about our reproductive freedoms in Ohio and in the United States in this special year. And then in 2024, I don't know if I need to just run this video again, if there's more for me to say. I hope not. But you'd be welcome to point out any flaws. You say, gosh, Karen, that was wrong. The water in the ocean is not salty. Whatever you got, put it on the post. It's a public page. You're welcome to visit. Karen Ryder. I'm your friend. Be my friend. Because we love this country and love is free. And I don't have my little stress ball, so I just do it like this. This is how, if you're a really good dancer and you've done your best, and then you need to bow. And instead of doing something big and fancy, you just be humble. And so I'm humble. And I thank you so much for visiting with me today. Bye-bye. Have a good morning, and I hope your coffee is hot.